Hi everyone! I have another journal to share today. This one is a Jane Austen themed journal. It's my personal journal that I'm going to write in. I've got seam binding closure here. This beautiful cover I didn't do anything to because this, I just loved it. I got this as a journal. It was given to me. And it was just a lined journal. So I took the pages out. And I'm using them here and there for the things. Let's see if they have them around. I don't. Oh, there they are. They just look like that. And many of the papers are from the Dear Jane paper stack, which I was really excited to get. I'm grabbing this other paper stack because, oops, thought I don't want. This is the other paper stack I used, DCWV, the heirloom stack. So a lot of the thinner papers are from that. That's a great stack. But these two are Dear Jane. I love, love, love those papers. Especially this rose one. I love roses. Here I haven't officially signed up for the September challenge, but last night I realized it was September 1st, so there is my first entry, and I do hope to do some journaling every day, and I'm going to use this journal for it. There's that card. Most of the pages are coffee dyed or tea dyed, except for the glassine envelopes. They tend to open up when you dye them, or at least that's my experience. I may do some spraying or something. There's stamping throughout. There's a tag I made. I need to set this out because I want to do some ribbons and staple them to the top of that. This is tracing paper. It has been coffee dyed, and there's a little stamp here that's hard to see, but it says, "Memory is the power to gather roses in winter." That was a Stampin' Up! Set I've had for a long time with both the rose and the sentiment, but I really like that sentiment. Here I've done some layering of flowers. I've got this Sparkle Lights gem there. This is from Tsunami Rose Vintage Parcel journal kit, and I've stitched it together there with some extra scraps. The doily, I think I saw something like this on, no, I can't remember. I want to say maybe Margarita, but I'm not sure. But I have folded it over and gel mediumed it together and then done that again. This was a very large one, so this is 1/4 of the size, its original size. And then I've stitched it onto the page, and it's pretty sturdy now. So that's how I did that. This was from Denise's shop. Here she is, Tattered Dream. And I got a few things from her shop when she had a sale. However, this one tore a little bit. The other side tore a little bit when I was coffee dyeing it, so I've added washi tape. You'll see that when I get to that, I guess. I've torn the edge of this paper. Really like how that turned out. I did this trio of envelopes in the journal that I made for the swap on the Facebook group Junk Journal Junkies. And I've done it again here, only with red envelopes. And I've cut these tickets out on my Cricut. Sweet Moments. Here's a little vignette of a lady. This one is a little hard to read also. It says, "It's moments like this we want to hold in our hearts forever." And that, these stamps are from a Close to My Heart set. This is from the Dear Jane stack. Here are some lines. Thanks to Paula Lemon for that great tutorial on how to make those nice lines with the corrugated cardboard. Whoops, I threw that around. Those lines are from a stamp set. This one. And I've done the cardboard lines here also. Oh, and this flip is thanks to Yvonne Crafty White Preston. I love that idea and I use it a lot. Tuck and flip. That's the Dear Jane stack. This was a page probably from maybe the Dreams Etc., but I just cut that out, and it was something that maybe printed wrong or it cut wrong, and I kept the scrap and did that with it. This is from the Dear Jane stack also. And this is a glassine envelope. I have gessoed it to kind of tone down the pattern that was on there and make it easier to write on it. And these are some scrap trim and cheesecloth. Love this pocket here. This paper is from Bow Bunny, Juliet. Beautiful, beautiful roses. I love roses. Have I said that before? Maybe I have. This is the vintage parcel Tsunami Rose, and then these are from the Dreams, etc. Simply Jane Ephemera kit. Here's another glassine bag stamped on. This is a tag I made with a book page and the illustration and the writing. And this, whoa, this is from the vintage parcel. A warm smile is the universal language of kindness. William Arthur Ward. The smiles are very kind. There's another, actually I'm not sure where I got, where that came from. Here's a banner tuck, and it's been gessoed to kind of blend it in, but also then you can write on the tuck if you have something to write there. Another flip up, getting out of frame there. I love this, beautiful. This has been tea dyed, I believe. This is Dreams, etc. Remember this day, sweet moments. Here's another paper from the Juliet, and on the back I've gessoed so that I can write on that more easily. This is from that heirloom stack, this key paper, and I've stitched here. This is Dear Jane. Oh, get back in there. Here, Patty, or maybe it's Patricia Villamontes, not sure if I'm saying that right, has done some tutorials on making all kinds of things with book pages, including pockets. So this was the inspiration here. And this was, I think, a freebie from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. But my printer was not working at the time, or at least not working well, and leaving a line on everything it printed out. So there, if you can't see it, but there's a line all down here. But this was just too pretty to, so I found a way to use it even with the line, and that's how I did that. I think I backed in on something. It feels sturdier than what I had originally printed it out on. And this envelope here is covering the center stitching. And I've stamped it with a doily stamp that's from Close to My Heart. Here's another set that's from Close to My Heart. Not this though, that was from a different set. Pretty handy set with the week in review there. There's a tuck here. I'm working on a tag to go in there, but I've got to do some more to it. I've made one of these petal envelopes here, and I've gessoed so it can be written on. It's pretty hard to put back together the correct way, so I'll just stuck it in there. Another Ephemera's Vintage Garden freebie. Here's an index card that I have coffee dyed and done some stamping on. And another flip with the corrugated lines. Banner tuck. Some more ephemera from the Simply Jane. Another glassine bag. This one I have backed on an index card. It's a coffee dyed index card. Here I found these cute little paper clips in a music note. I wish I could have put more music note paper in this book, because I love music too. But isn't that darling? That was in the, well, the relatively inexpensive section. It's not really $1 here, but I think it was $1.50 maybe? I'm not sure. Everybody calls it the dollar section, but it's somewhere around that amount. And I've done a belly band here with trim. There. Ouch. Bumped myself. Here's my little shoe here from a cricket cutout with some cheesecloth behind. This is, I believe, a Prima, and it's called Paintables. Something about damsel, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't remember the name of it, but very sturdy paper, and you can paint on it. I did watercolor on one in the other journal that I made. This, I love this beautiful painting of Jane Austen. I found it on Pinterest, and I had printed it out on thicker paper than I had wanted to, and so I just kept it in my scraps, and then I put lines on it, and it makes a great extra place to write. This envelope, I made this envelope, and then I stitched it on here to make it kind of flip out. Don't lose the writing space. Here is one of those giant index cards, and actually I've covered up the lines on this side because I've put this castle image that I found on Pinterest, and here's a stamp I have. The great use of life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. James Truslow Adams. Well, I found that this was so large that I couldn't fit it anywhere in my book, so I folded it in half there and found a place to tuck it. And this is the other side of that envelope. This flips out like that with the writing here, and then there's a tuck here with a damsel tag. Let's see, this is from the Dear Jane paper stack. Love these from the Simply Jane kit. Dreams, etc. That's this also. And here's that other side of that paper that tore when I was coffee dyeing it, but fix it up great with washi tape, and I don't mind that. Look, this is my personal journal, so there's no problem there. This is some lace trim, and they're not actually attached to each other, but I wanted it to hold a little better, so, and it's stitched on. Here's another thank you to Patty for her tutorials on how to do things with book pages. I've made another pocket here. This one I've actually stitched together and done some gesso and some texture paste and little stamping and stenciling on there. More tracing paper, another glassine bag that's been stamped on. Here's my final page that has a little, kind of a smaller pocket there to tuck things. And this is the other side of that page that I had printed out on the wrong kind of paper, but it makes a great tag. And another scrap of paper. I want to add some more scraps of paper in here because I like having that to write on. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this, I glued this trim on. This one, I had a hard time getting this, because what I had, this is a hidden, what is it called? Hidden spine? I don't remember what it's called. I got the idea from Ephemera's Vintage Garden tutorial on her channel. But so I actually stitched this whole signature to this cardstock, the rose cardstock, and then I glued it all inside the book. I had a little bit of trouble getting it straight, though, and so that was what gave me the idea of putting this trim around the edge, because it will bother me if I can see that it's not straight. And this doesn't bother me. I actually really, and I like I like the little touch of the lace, so there's another one of those mistakes turning out to be something you like. So there, remember that, if it's a mistake, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to do something differently and to find something you like that you weren't going to do in the first place. Thanks for letting me share with you today, and I hope you have a great day.